Paul Lynde was a comedic actor who possessed a remarkable talent that captivated audiences every time he appeared on stage, in film, or on television. He had a unique ability to steal the show whenever he was on, and everyone's attention was drawn to him. Despite being known for his flamboyant and campy personality, Paul Lynde kept his sexuality hidden from the public eye. Although many suspected that he was gay, he never openly talked about it, leaving people to speculate and wonder about his true identity. In retrospect, it is clear that his success was rooted in his gayness. Lynde's gay persona allowed him to bring a unique perspective and flair to his performances that set him apart from other actors of his time. However, Paul Lynde struggled with his sexuality and was deeply conflicted about it. He lived in a time when homosexuality was not accepted, and he felt pressure to hide his true identity. Despite this, he continued to revel in his camp persona, using it to bring joy and laughter to audiences around the world. Paul Lynde was born on June 13, 1926, in the small town of Mount Vernon, Ohio. His father was a butcher, and Paul's early life was unremarkable in terms of show business, save for his experience playing the bass drum at school. After graduating from Northwestern University in 1944, Paul discovered a passion for theater and quickly made a name for himself among his drama classmates with his witty and self-written monologues. Following his graduation, Paul moved to New York City in pursuit of his dreams. It was there that he landed his big break in the 1960 Broadway hit Bye Bye Birdie. In the role of Harry McAfee, the harried father, Paul's talent shone, and he quickly became the talk of the town. Paul played the part of Harry with slightly effeminate blundering outrage. He was not explicitly playing a gay character, but his portrayal left room for interpretation. This unique approach to the role captured the attention of audiences and cemented Paul's status as a rising star. In 1963, Paul reprised his role in the movie version of Bye Bye Birdie, which led to other comedic roles such as Beach Blanket Bingo. Paul's exceptional talent and ability to bring humor and joy to audiences continued to make him a beloved figure in the entertainment industry for years to come. In 1965, Paul Lynde landed a recurring role as Uncle Arthur on the American Broadcasting Company sitcom Bewitched, marking a significant moment in television history. Paul's character was a gay seaman man who wasn't portrayed as a victim or object of ridicule, but rather a confident and snarky individual who fearlessly dished out his wit. Despite his success on the small screen, Paul struggled to find true happiness in life. He went from one relationship to another, often seeking companionship with paid escorts. Paul yearned to be taken seriously as an actor and believed that wealth and fame alone were not enough to bring him satisfaction. There were short-lived attempts to build a series around him, such as the 1972-73 sitcom The Paul Lynde Show, where he played the role of an Archie Bunker-like father. However, these attempts were ultimately unsuccessful, and Paul continued to struggle to find his footing in the entertainment industry. In the early morning hours of January 4, 1976, Paul Lynde was arrested outside a tavern in Salt Lake City for allegedly interfering with a police officer. The officer was investigating a car burglary when Paul insisted that the officer attends to his complaint that his briefcase, containing $1,000 in cash and valuables, had been stolen. Although the complaint was later dropped, Paul lost his guest starring role on Donnie and Marie as a result. Paul struggled with weight control throughout his life, but in 1977, he was honored by Weight Watchers for his efforts. That same year, his beloved dog, Harry McAfee, passed away, leaving Paul devastated. He found it difficult to stay in his home without Harry and eventually bought a new one. Paul Lynde's career took a downward turn as demand for his services dwindled. To stay relevant, he accepted a wider range of job offers. In 1978, he appeared as a guest weatherman on Western Southern Publicity Department television in Toledo, Ohio. The following year, Lynde landed what was to be his final film role in the 1979 comedy The Villain. He played Indian Chief Nervous Elk alongside his former Bye Bye Birdie co-star Anne Margaret. Lynde had grown weary of being typecast by Hollywood squares and left the show that same year. Despite his efforts to land acting gigs, jobs were few and far between. It's unclear if this was due to homophobia or Lynde's substance abuse and alcohol problems, which made him difficult to work with. Paul Lynde, after struggling with substance abuse and alcohol addiction, finally became sober and drug-free in the early 1980s. During this time, the television show that made him famous, Hollywood Squares, was experiencing a decline in its ratings. Despite not wanting to return, Lynde agreed to come back when he was offered co-star billing with host Peter Marshall. He remained with the show until its cancellation in February 1981. However, Lynde's personal life was far from stable. His heavy drinking led to him being infamously cruel when intoxicated. According to some reports, quote, every word out of his mouth was venomous, with a sting that hurt into every unexpected vulnerability a human might have. His behavior resulted in public intoxication arrests, and there was even an incident where he launched into a drunken racist tirade at a Chicago Burger King. Paul Lynde believed that the most damaging hit to his reputation occurred when his friend, actor J.B. Davidson, fell to his death from the balcony of Lynde's room at San Francisco's Sir Francis Drake Hotel. Davidson was only 26 years old at the time. Lynde had desperately tried to grab his friend's arm, but was unable to hold on. The accident was witnessed by 2 police officers who cleared Lynde of any wrongdoing, but rumors about the incident persisted for years. As society became more accepting of homosexuality, Lynde was offered gay parts in films and television shows, but he refused them. He preferred to maintain his following among straight audiences. In a 1976 People magazine cover story, he declared that he was glad his fans were straight, and even made a controversial statement that gay people killed Judy Garland, but they're not going to kill me. Paul Lynde, despite being a self-loathing homosexual, was a trailblazer for many in the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender communities. He was unapologetically flamboyant, paving the way for others to embrace their true selves. However, Lynde's life was not without its struggles. On January 11, 1982, his friend Paul Baresi became worried after he failed to attend a birthday celebration. Baresi, along with actor Dean Dittman, tried unsuccessfully to reach Lynde by phone and knocking on his door. Eventually, Baresi decided to break into Lynde's home in Beverly Hills, California, and made a shocking discovery. Lynde was dead in his bed. Although rumors circulated that there was a visitor present at the time of his death, the comedian regularly activated his house alarm before retiring for the evening, and when Baresi broke in, the alarm blared, indicating that Lynde was alone at the time of his death. The coroner later ruled that the cause of death was a heart attack. Lynde's cremated remains are interred at Amity Cemetery in Amity, Ohio, alongside his brother Johnny and sister Helen. His parents are also buried in the same cemetery. Despite his struggles, Lynde was a beloved figure in the entertainment industry, providing hope for those who are flamboyant. He will always be remembered as a legendary comedian. Goodbye, and rest in peace, Paul Lynde.